Hi everyone and welcome back to Barker-Stargazer's YouTube channel. As you can see, my background is different now. I've got a pinboard up with a few bits on to give myself and you guys an idea of what this is going forward. I'm intending to fill up this entire wall here with some proper peg pin boards and have all of this displayed because we are in the new house now. And well, I haven't ended up with my own studio. I've got a designated space now which doesn't have the husband snoring in his bed across from me while I'm filming, so there's a bonus. Right, this week's video we are doing a AI to reality and we are doing this shrimp. I could not believe that this shrimp won the poll. Honestly, there were 4 sea creatures and this one I did not think it was going to win. But it did, and here we are. And I thought with this being more of a simple image, that what I do is I try to do what I did with the snail and try to match as many of the rows and directions that are on the image as possible. Don't see any problem with the claws. I think I'll end up doing them in a way that you do mittens for the thumb. I'll explain more when I get to that. The little tendrily bits, I'll put an arrow to see which ones I mean. I'm not sure where I'll be going with them. And as for the tail, I'm going to try and make it like there are these fidgets that are snails and they're all disjointed, so I'll put an image up so you can see. So I was thinking I'll try and make the tail like that, so it'll actually move, because I don't want to do what I did with the horse and just make a tube with a wire in it to manipulate. I think I want more movement in this one. There's a lovely little fin on the end here. I think I'll do front and back loops and increasing as I go with that. As for the colour, I have got this lovely coral colour for the lobster itself. That's about the closest I could find around here. It's just the brand is Crafty Things. It's just a brand you can find in a local discount store here. Okay, let's start with our sketch, which I've actually already done, and we will go from there. So I've got my sketch here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the shrimp's body here, and I'm going to match the rows as best I can on this continuous bit, so we'll get a sense of the scale for it. I'm not going to do it with every single piece, but I am going to do it with this one. I'm going to have it closed at the back here because the tail comes out only on the 2 top thirds by the look of it. So I'm going to create a flat circle first, and then I will keep on increasing it until I'm where I want it to be. I'll continue along here. Then when I get to the end here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of the decreases on the underbelly to keep this relatively flat as I decrease in, but we will see how that goes. Okay, from the AI image, which you can see here, I think I'm going to need 9 rows across the body here where I will do no increases and no decreases. So I've quickly done 9 rows of double crochet, which is what I will be working in here. So my circles of increases need to come up to here before I start working outwards. and I think that's only going to be about 4 rows of increases, and I'm going to increase by 6, so that should take that count to 24. As always, I am working this design in a 4.5 hook. I have doubled my coral coloured yarn as it was worst weight or double knit, and I wanted Aran. So normally with Aran you'll work in a 5, but with Aragawami it is best to go down slightly, and I just go down to a 4.5. Say if you've watched any of my other AI to realities, you know this is my preferred hook to do my designs with. Okay, so here we are. I've got all of the 9 straight rounds done now. So I'm going to start the decrease rounds now, and obviously as I've had 4 increase rounds, I need 4 decrease rounds. Now as I want this slope here, I'm going to cluster all of the decreases together, and just to make it easier for myself, I'm simply going to start each one of my rounds with 6 decreases because here we are. Here's our shrimp body. I've got this curve there. That's very nice. Got my eyes here. I'm going to close it, but all of these front bits here, I'm going to put them in later, mainly because I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with them yet. So I'm just going to sew this closed, and then I am going to start on these lobster arms. No, counting those rounds, it's not that far realistically off the size of my picture. I can realistically just try and match the sizes to these and it should work. I'm not entirely sure yet if I'm going to do this claw as one piece. I am. So I'm going to start at the top of the claw here. I'm going to increase as I work down, then decrease back at the joint. For the actual pincer claw itself, I'm going to increase out. I'm going to leave a gap for this smaller area of the claw. Continue down the large part of the claw until I decrease and close that. Then go back and add a separate section for this smaller part of the claw, as I said earlier, in the same way that you would make a mitten. Alright, here we go. That's a very good claw, so I'm going to neaten this up and make a second one. You know what, I actually don't think it needs the wire. I don't think I'm going to do the wire in it. Oh, that was fiddly. Right, second one. So I want to move on to the lobster tail now. Now, as I've said, I want this lobster tail to be flexible, and I've got two ideas on how I can do that. The first idea is to base crochet pieces on how the pieces are in the fidget slug, this one that I mentioned earlier. So that's kind of how the pieces look. So they're hollow inside and they have this like little attachment mechanism. Now I was thinking if I do them like this, I could have the white here. So the rest would be in the coral. And they would sit inside each other. So I'm going to try this version first. However, I do have a backup of modifying how Complicated Knots made her roly-poly bug. I'm going to link that video in the descriptions as well, but I don't really want to use another creative solution. I'd rather try this method first. So I'm going to start here. And hopefully this will work. If not, I will be crediting Complicated Knots for a very good idea. Right, this is a cross section of what I think the piece will look like now. So this part here, where the join will be, that'll be hidden inside the bucket here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start surface crochet, and I'm going to surface crochet this white bit here onto the back of the shrimp. It's going to be roughly about 2/3, so about that, and that'll give me an idea of the size. Then I'm going to crochet like the first bucket piece with the join, and I'll stuff that so that piece will be solid, and then the rest of the tail will flex from that. Complicated Knots, if this doesn't work, I may be stealing your piece. Well, not stealing, I mean I'm fully crediting you and everything, and if it comes to that, if it comes to a point where I actually use somebody else's pattern piece, then I will never sell that pattern because, well, it's theft. Okay, so this is the first segment now complete. So basically I'm going to replicate this piece now over it, and yeah, that's simply what I'm going to do. I'm just going to replicate it 4 more times, and then I'll have to see what I'm going to do with the tail just to secure it, but maybe I could secure it just with the threads actually. Okay, right. There we go, there's the tail done. I'll do the end in a minute. I'm just going to do the legs, and the legs are simply going to be a chain, and then I'm going to run another row of stitches down, but I'm going to run it over some wire just so I can give it a bit of structure. Right, so moved on to the shrimp tail, and to be honest, I was kind of overthinking it. I even started looking at pictures of real ones, and then when I looked back at the AI image, I realised all I actually have to do is rows of half trebles, that's half doubles if you're US terms, in the back loops only. And what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to gather them up and attach them there. And here is my finished version of this AI shrimp. Her tail is fully pausable. The pieces can move 360 as well as up and down and side to side and everything. I did attach 2 additional legs to the first section of the tail. There's wire running through these 6 legs, so they too can be paused as well. These bits at the front here are simply yarn threaded through and secured as best I can. I just decided to leave them like that, and I am so happy with those pinchy little claws. I think we will name her Coral. Right, as for the vote for the next AI to reality, I am handing over to my 3 children. They are going to plead their cases about why you should vote for their picks. And I'll see everyone on the other side.
I think you should vote for the giraffe because they are really cute. And also, since they're my favourite animal, I want like another one. Because I already have like 10, but who cares if I get another one? Because it's going to be a bag. So, vote for me!
Go!
Pikachu is the best, so that's why you should vote for it.